sexual abuse, some people could relate it to rape. We're going to back away from it being rape when it's coerced, forced, or you pressurize or compel or bully, intimidate or persuade. Okay, this is part of the sexual abuse when we talk about what coerced is. So the forcing of unwanted sexual activity by one person or another as the use of threats and coercion. Okay, so you're trying to get somebody to do something sexually via a threat or coercing them to do it, but they don't want to. It's not necessarily that they may not want to have sex with you, but not to the limits of which, this person may want it, okay? And it can also be considered, any type of sexual activity that is deemed improper or harmful as between an adult and a minor or with a person of diminished mental capacity, okay? So what we're going to kind of dive into, we're going to talk about some of these, what people may not consider to be examples of sexual abuse.
Okay.
So when someone makes demands for sex, they want certain things. But let me also put the parameters here. When two people are in agreement to do it, to do whatever it is, they're fine. The problem comes in when one person wants it and the other person is against it. These two people are not in agreement, okay? So if you're with a partner and they're like, hey, I want my man to demand it from me and I want it this way or that way, then and you all are both in agreement, you're good, okay? You got people who will make degrading sexual statements to you, and some people like certain words be said to them, degrading, sexual statements. Some people are okay with it.
Let me ask you this quick question because I just thought about this. In the event that I am a consenting adult and I'm okay with having sex, but then, and this is your regular boyfriend, girlfriend, so I'm okay with it. But then at a certain point, there's an act that I don't choose to have. You want to keep doing this act. Do you then become an abuser of it? Or because you consented with having sex, period, takes the sexual abuse off the table?
Okay, so at any point, let's say you've been with somebody, you've been with them, we're just going to say a year, y'all been doing this, been doing that. And just at some point, just any time a person says no is no. And I'm not talking about the no that means yes. I'm talking about the no that means no. And we have to, be clear about that. Okay. So if you've been doing something for a while and it comes to a point where you're like, I'm not sure if I like this anymore or if I want to continue to do this, it's important for people to talk. People look at sex as taboo. They don't talk about it enough. When you got a partner, some people just do not. And the funny thing about it is you'll have people that'll meet at 9 o'clock in the club and by 2 a.m. they at one or the other's house having sex. Don't really know the person, don't really know their name, don't know any of that, but here we are having sex. We haven't talked about nothing. So maybe somebody could possibly be under the influence and like, hey, I was just trying to have a good time tonight. Wake up and it's like, whoa, what happened? And the person like, hey, let's get together again. And you might be thinking, oh, I don't know about that because I don't even know what happened last night.
I'm good on that.
Right. But
you was not a good lay.
Right. No. We have people who have, this has happened to them and then they pop up with the oops, baby. I call it the oops, baby, because oops, we just met. I don't really know your name. You don't really know mine. However, here we are now. We barely know each other, nonetheless like each other, but we about to bear a baby that could be unwanted. We don't want it because, I could have just been having a one-night stand with you or mad, getting some revenge sex or something like that. And here we are caught up in the situation. I hope I didn't get away from the question you were asking me about.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
It's all sex.
Okay. It's all sex.
It's all sex.
As long as I stay on sex, I'm good. Okay.
Most definitely.
Okay. So, again, you don't want to force your partner to have sex against their will. But who want a person that's not a cheerful giver? You know what I'm saying? You know, a rebellious.
Right.
That's not what you want. Now, the one I'm about to say right now is gonna be one of them. You're gonna be like, whoa, whoa. But forcing sex while she is sleeping, and it's like, huh?
Really?
Most people like, but I like to be woke up. You know, as long as you all are in agreement, it's fine. But some people don't like to be awakened in their sleep, and you have to respect that. You know, you have to respect that the person that does not want to be awakened. But people always say, you know, I always hear, I woke my boo up and, you know, it was on the pop, you know, we got it on.
Right.
You know,
early morning sex.
Right. You know, early morning or, you know, middle of night. You know, sometimes, hey, if you know, have a hectic schedule, you done put the kids down, you done cook dinner, and it's like you sleep. Some people don't want to be awakened, and you have to respect that. But again, the key here is we gotta remember this is our mate. This is someone we're like, you know, we're sharing bodily fluids with. So we should be able to talk to them. But a lot of people really don't talk about sex. They just do it. You'll have people that have been and had sex and never kissed, never had a good old conversation. But they out here giving the most. And I can remember being someone who was, I'll say I was born in the 70s. And I can remember learning about sex in sex education class. And I remember my teacher saying, sex is one of the highest things you could give somebody. That's a part of yourself that is the highest thing you could just give somebody. And you need to, you know, be careful who you give it to. You want someone, because it's kind of like a special moment, precious. You know, it's kind of like sovereignty. You know, if they get you to this point, hey, and it should be special, you know. But people are out here now. It's just a lot of casual sex going on. You know, they're not
casualty of war.
You say, yeah, and then you find out things about the people later, or you find out that they're with multiple people, and that's not what we want. You know, we have people who are transgender. You have people who have had sex changes. I remember just recently going to the comedy club to see Coco Brown, and she was talking about, you know, how she live in Atlanta, and she said, you know, Atlanta is like that city where, you know, everybody's beautiful, you know. So you have a lot going on there, and it be men who are talking to other men, and they're presenting as a woman, and they don't know. They look at more womanly sometimes than a woman is, you know.
Yeah,
and
I most definitely know.
I can remember a time years ago, over 20 years ago. I used to work at the free clinic as an HIV case manager. I remember having a client that was from Atlanta, and everybody used to think that he was my husband. Very manly man, dressed very nice, you know, just suave type person. But he didn't like women, and people didn't know.
Oh, wow.
They really thought, because the way he would be over there talking to me, you know, they really thought. But no. He did not.
Yeah, he was your client.
Mm-hmm. He was actually a client. They just thought that maybe, you know, my husband was up there visiting, because he would, you know, dress very nice. He was a man, you know, dressed extremely nice, smelled good, came to his medical appointments in the suit, all that. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he was living that life. So he didn't want it to define him. He was a man that preferred certain things, and he kept his life outside the way it's supposed to be, and then inside he did what he wanted to do. So I most definitely get that. But let me ask you this question. Back to the abuse part. If someone, it's like this story is just, I don't know, it just popped in my head, but I really do not believe that it is abuse. Well, shit, wait a minute. So if a person who is, say for instance, if a person is a drag queen, okay, and they live their life, I'm going to say 75% in drag, and they go around tricking these men into believing that they're female, and they do it all the time. And by them being, I'll say, a repeat offender, by them doing it all the time, Is that a form of abuse?
Because they're tricking the person they're seeking to get to know.
Cause they keep doing it. They're abusing something, or no, not necessarily.
Well, the problem is, the way I see it is, they're not being upfront, and sometimes things happen. You go too far. It could be some acts of violence. People don't like to be tricked. Yeah. Now, I mean, and it could go beyond violence. That be like, I'm gonna kill you. That can really cause some damage when you're not being upfront. It's important to be upfront, but a lot of people today are not doing that. And I can remember, again, kind of sitting on this subject, this take me back some years, when people wanted to have a sex change, it took years and years, like 10 years or more of counseling before a doctor would sign off on it happening. Now, the other things, as far as, taking hormones, making their breasts bigger, things of that nature, people would do that. But the actual sex change, it took years and years. And it wasn't until, at least from my experience, that I heard, what is it, Jenny, what's the Kardashians? I mean, that was the quickest sex change I heard of. Like, I mean, I don't know if he was doing counseling, but it doesn't sound like he was counseling to me. It was just, he had the money, let's do this. And society is moving quicker in these areas. We have the LGBTQ community where, things are moving differently. What I like is that, people are able to be themselves in the open without feeling like they have to be in the closet. They're, feeling loved. My thing is, I know who I am. Just don't impose whatever on me, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
That's just, quite respect. But now, like I say, they're not. They just like, okay, I want a sex change. Okay, when you want it. They're not. They're not.
Oh yeah, because
they're not doing the
talks.
counseling. They're not.
Money absolutely talks.
Mm-hmm. The years and years of counseling is like, here we are. I mean, just look at Dwayne Wade and his son. Or I don't want to be, offensive.
Oh, yeah.
But what I know as him to be his son, I'm not sure if they have changed over to this being his daughter or not. But I mean, can you really make that decision at 14 that you want?
Didn't they had somebody out before named Jazz, and Jazz had this story that was on TLC or something like that. And Jazz went through sex change and taking the hormones, and it was like broadcasted. She wanted her life to just be out there so everybody knew what she was going on. I mean, what she had going on. And I think she was young. She had to be like 12 years old at the time when she decided that she no longer wanted to be a boy. Jazz Jennings, that's her name. Her name is Jazz Jennings, and let me see here. I'm like actually looking here. She's a 19-year-old transgender activist and reality star.
Wow.
They showed her journey, and her parents were very, very supportive. They make up their mind, and like you said, if they have money, they can get it done sooner than later. But yeah, she actually, I guess she had the surgery.
Wow.
Yeah, in 2018.
Wow.
She had the surgery.
Okay. Like I say, just knowing, like, I'll just say over a 25, 26 year span, just judging the way things have gone in society has been, really different. I mean, I've had transgender clients look at me and tell me they was more woman than me. And I said, wait, hold up. I said, because, I'm thinking, you haven't experienced no menstrual cycles, having a baby. So let's back up just a little bit.
Yeah, people are very, very interesting. when it comes to what they believe in. And I guess you can't take that away from them. Yeah, sometimes reality checks are most definitely due. Most definitely do.
Right. So that's why I was like, and my thing was, I respect who you are as a person. I respect who you are as a transgender. But let's keep me out of it, and let's not talk about who more woman or man is. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Person had not, had a change or anything. They were, taking hormones. They presented as a woman. Let's just say that. But they were definitely a male. Definitely a male, but they were presenting as a woman. And then there would be times that they would come into the office as who they were. And part of that was like their, they had mental illness. So some days they were presented as a man, some days they were presented as a woman. It was just what was going on that day. I mean, I've seen a lot. This is, these are things that are going on. So it's important for us to know, what's going on, because it's real. This is what people are doing. And that's what was bad about it. Is when you're tricking someone into it. And that's what, makes things different. I mean, I've had people tell me a lot of times, clients in the past, that you don't know how many men be out here. They're married and they coming to see me on the regular,
Yeah, I hear those stories all the time. I hear them all the time. That's crazy. But you know what? Here we go. Circle back to the sexual abuse. When we were talking earlier, I asked the question, is withholding sex abuse?
Yes, they say it is. They do say it is. Yes. And they usually typically say a lot of women do it, but men do it. And again, whenever we're talking about abuse, we also, remember, we're talking about power and control. And again, we got to go back to trying to be in healthy relationships and stuff, different components when it comes to this. But some people might use sex as a reward for being good, or withhold sex if she does not act the way he wants. And they say, they say we as women, we're known to withhold sex. We shut the garage door down when we don't get what we want sometimes. So yes, withholding.
I never thought it was abuse until we just had this conversation, because I know personally that I've withheld sex before. I don't think it was for a malicious reason, but I have done that. And matter of fact, there was an incident. No, I ain't even gonna call it an incident. There was a time where I needed to have something done, and my answer to it was, well, we can't do what we do no more until you handle that business. Once you handle that business, we back on and popping. So all along, I'm a damn abuser. God damn it. What the hell? What is this world coming to?
Well, listen, the good thing about that is you won't go to jail for that. So, but yeah, like you say, you did it for the sole purpose of, like you said, you did it like, hey, I want this, so you're going to have to do this for it. And some people do it, withhold their affection. They get mad at their mate. And instead of being, nice and to them or respectful or whatever, they don't do that. They withhold affection, won't talk to them, ignore them, and just do that. And that's a form of abuse, because when you're doing it, again, as a way to maintain some type of power and control. And power and control, those are key words when we're talking about abuse, okay? Those are definitely key words here. But some of these things that go up under sexual abuse, you'll be like, whoa. I mean, even, believe it or not, when you want your mate to wear a special clothing and you don't want to, it's not that you're not willing to have sex with your mate, but, they want you to be dressed like this, what they probably seen in a pornography magazine or TV or something. Now, if you and your mate is down for that, that's fine. But if one person like, nah, this ain't working for me, then,
So
again,
where does the abuse come in at?
So so it's a couple things here. So if you choose, for example, if the person doesn't want to wear something, it's not that they're not willing to have sex with you, but hey, they're like, hey, I'm right here, but I'm not about to put on this, and this. I mean, but then there's also the thing of I want you to do this act as well, So the person that is requesting and who they're requesting it to chooses not to. That's part of, where it becomes an issue. I've heard so many stories about certain people can't perform adequately if things are not this way or that way.
Wait. Are you saying that perform adequately as in from a man's perspective, they can't get aroused to a certain point if certain acts are not done? Or explain that to me. They can't perform.
So they can't perform adequately or be turned on unless they see their mate like this or like that. I have heard even things like this. Let's just say somebody has a porn addiction. He has a porn addiction, okay?
Okay.
And I've heard wives say their mates don't want to be with them because they're so into the self-gratification. They don't want to be, and they're in separate bedrooms. The wife, let's just say she come downstairs or goes into his bedroom or see him on the couch. He might have his little magazine or movie out and whatever else he uses, but they have not been intimate in years.
Oh, hell no.
Yes. I'm telling you, I have even heard their mate is not turned on unless they watch gay porn.
Wait. The female is not turned on unless she watches gay porn, or the male is not turned on.
The male. Where I heard it from, it was the male.
And when we say gay porn, we're meaning male on male and not female on female?
Correct.
Huh. That's interesting. I've watched gay porn before, and it's quite interesting. And I don't know. I'm cool with it. I like gay porn.
Like I say, again, it's all in,
what you
two
like.
People saying, yeah, and two people being in agreement to do it. Okay.
Wow.
And that's key. That's very key.
Damn, I need a meeting. Hi, my name is Hayzel, and I'm a sexual abuser. What? Oh my God, I need a meeting. Okay, whew, that's deep. That's deep. You said it. There will be some things that you absolutely would not believe that falls up under sexual abuse. Damn.
Mm-hmm. And some people really believe that they expect sexual access whenever he or she wants to. I'll say he. And I don't know, and I've even heard this from religious point of view, spiritual point of view. It's her duty to give me the booty. If I don't get it here, I'll get it somewhere else.
I heard that before.
I mean, it's like, and it's all about us having respect for our bodies, for ourselves, for our mates. It's having that conversation to be open with one another. Again, a lot of people aren't open. Like I say, people will go out and be with total strangers
before they open up to their partner.
Exactly. I mean, someone you done went and made, vows in front of, and they do not have that conversation.
See, learn something new every day. I'm a sexual abuser. And
Or let's just say, let's even take it here. Disclosing intimate behaviors to others. You know, you and your mate done had a good night, and you go back telling your boys, man, my wife did this, and that. I mean, you gotta have some respect because you're telling somebody what your mate did. Somebody might be looking like they know what you're doing, especially if you're not, being upright and everything, and they like, I'm gonna get her by myself, and if she doing that, I'm gonna see if I could try it.
I know what you did last summer. No.
Mm-hmm.
Or better yet, I know what you did last night. You know what?
Exactly.
That's crazy because I know as females, as a female for myself, oh yeah, I've told my girl, oh my God, he had girl, wait, let me tell you. Oh, girl, dag, I'm an offender all the way around the board.
Well, I don't want to call you an offender.
It's
I really
fine. You,
don't.
you you didn't. I did. I called myself one.
Oh,
It's okay. It's okay.
but because, like I say, these are not necessarily, what I want to say, an offense you're going to go away for. But these are things that are real, that happen every day in bedrooms that people don't think. Okay, I'm going to take it to another level.
All right.
Had a client, and this is simple, what I'm about to say. When his wife would get out the shower, he would, take the towel and, or he would hit her on her butt, not take the towel. He would just like smack her on her butt, when she was naked getting out the shower. So, he was asked to go and ask his wife, how did she feel about it? He was like, oh, she cool with it. She fine. She like it. He was so outdone when he went and asked her, and she said, no, I don't like this. I just do it because you're my husband. He was outdone because, again, it was something that was never talked about.
The things we do as women for these men. Wow.
Again, we're not talking enough. We're not having enough bedroom conversations.
The real pillow talk.
Exactly. I actually had it's a guy I went to school with, and he wrote a book, but he was just saying how one of his, I'm going to say ex-girlfriends, I believe, had given him a book on, it was about sex. And he said that was the best thing that she could have done for him because it just laid out things that, people don't talk about. And it was like the how-to, the basic things. He was like, some people be out here thinking that they're doing something. They really think they're turning their mate on. But he said it was a good book that really helped him to become who he needed to be sexually. And then they had no because they had, right. They had the book, they talked about it, and the biggest thing is talking about it. Or, asking your mate, how does this feel? Do you like this? Do you not like this? What it absolutely is off limits if we were, having a night? What exactly would be totally off limits to you? What is it that it's like, hey, what is your, what turns you on? What do you like to be kissed on the neck? Do you like,
to be
this?
choked?
Do you right. And right.
Oh shit. Okay. Why? You know what? It's almost like a interview process. You ask all these questions and you tell them what to expect for the job of the relationship, or the job of being a lover. I'm letting you know up front, and I might throw that other duties as assigned in as well. But for the most part, it's an interview. It's an interview process. You get to know me, and I get to know you in certain light.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay. That's why I can't get that shit right. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's interesting. Huh. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Here's another one. Not caring if she is sexually satisfied. You have some men get up and feel as though, well, I got mine. I don't know what's wrong with you.
Ooh, wee. What? That's really a part. Oh. You know what? I think what we should do as people is come up with a type of system. And it doesn't have to be one that will make a person go to jail or anything like that, but a system to, kind of let you know, yo, you ain't do that right this time. And if you keep doing it, it's like going to work and you swipe the clock late or you come in too early and you get an occurrence. And if you get 3 occurrences, you get a point. So I think that we should come up with a system to start giving people points or occurrences if they don't do what they supposed to do in the bedroom. I'm serious because I ain't even trying to be funny. I've had, I ain't gonna say many, but many was the word that, came to mind. Sessions where, yeah, he had his and I was like, okay, is this it? And then he rolled over and was like, oh, I just need 15 minutes. I need 10 minutes. What? And I'm
right.
And I'm on fire over here. You talking about, wait, I need 15 minutes. Give me 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Are you kidding me right now?
That's awful.
That's an occurrence. I'm start keeping tally, nigga. Occurrence. That's
and it could also, he could also blame, one may could be blamed if they're not satisfied.
You ain't turned this way. You wasn't upside down enough. What?
You didn't hang from the chandelier.
Right. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. You just really got me thinking about some stuff that didn't happen, and I'm sitting up here like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. So, dang. Other than giving out occurrences and points, I had to figure out a way to be like, yo, look, is your 15 minutes up?
Right.
Oh right. My
God. And another one, let's just say you accuse her or him of being, sexually abusive or saying that something's wrong with them if, the other person doesn't respond to the demand. You know what I mean? Like, something must be wrong with you because you're not willing to do this, or do that, or, to look at this porn and to take it this way or to, go deep on me. Or,
that's, I got one. Oh my God, I got one. And it just popped in. Memory is a bad thing. When I tell you, when you can remember something that didn't happen 10 years ago or 20 years ago, and where did that come from? How did that resurface? But anyway, I'm saying that to say that somebody told me, being messy and mad or whatever, yeah, so that's why I'm fucking with so-and-so, because you ain't do this and you ain't do that. That's why I'm fucking with her. And it's like, really? Like for a long time, when I tell you for a long time, I had a problem with the fact that I did not like to give fellatio. I did not. I would not. I wouldn't consider it. And I get it, for those who choose to like it. He was like, oh, well, okay. Well, if you ain't gonna do it, then such and such do it. And then I guess at some point, oh, well, the reason I cheated on you and was doing it with so-and-so and so-and-so is because, she gave head. Oh, see? Yeah. Abuse. I've been abused.
Yes.
I've been abused.
Yes, we have abused and been abused.
That ain't fair.
You know my famous saying, when we know better, we do better.
Yes. When we know better, we do better. I'm so glad, girl, you opened my eye, see? And I can't wait to when we get to talk about the next topic. Oh, I'm telling you, you are awesome. You are a wealth of information. And I appreciate it because for one thing, it called me out on my bullshit. It let me know that I was an abuser. So, yeah, I thank you for that. Most definitely. And you've given me ideas. Oh, yeah.
Knowledge is power. Believe that.
It absolutely is. So.
But, even today, I was just telling my sister this about a week ago. I said, some of our TV shows today is like really soft porn, rather it's our reality TV shows or just the movies that we watch now because, people are making it like people are introducing other people into the bedroom on a regular, they're really like,
that's true.
Hey, and it's whatever people want. But every time I've ever heard of people introducing a third person in the bedroom, the person who initiated it became upset because, they didn't realize that it was going to kind of backfire on them in terms of the other two people getting together when they didn't, when they weren't around.
Oh, wait. Oh, I got a story. For that. So,
okay.
I know, excitement. So I know a guy who was dating a female and I guess he wanted another female in the room. At some point she agreed to it. I don't know if she agreed to it right away or did it take some time. And the reason I don't know that part is because I'm friends with him and not her. So I know his conversation. But anyway, I found out that they had a threesome with a female and then turned around. He kept dealing with the female after their threesome. And then I think the lesson or the take home from that was when you decide to have a threesome, it should be with somebody you don't know. Once the guy, if the guy brings someone in that he knows, he either already has sex with her or because he knows her, he's going to keep having sex with her. Now, I don't know if that's to be true or not, but that was so crazy. And I guess what made this story like extremely funny is that I heard the story from the third person or the third person's family or something. I heard the story and it's just coincidence that I knew the other parties in this situationship. And that's funny. And then of course he kept messing with the other person. And I wrote that in one of my stories.
But even, the TV shows polygamy, where they're actually couples are seeking and interviewing people to bring into the relationship.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it might be a couple shows out there about that, where they're actually bringing in, they're interviewing. The husband and the wife are interviewing people that they feel would be a good match to be in their home, who they feel they could trust around the kids and everything, that they could have as a third, party in the home.
Wow, that's deep. That is absolutely deep. Well, that's we talked about polygamy, the man with the two wives, and now you have the woman with the two husbands. I want to try the two husbands part, but that's just me. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look that up. So we have, here we go again with the interview questions. The job. This relationship is a job, and I must find out if you are a perfect fit for what I got going on. Well, We have come to the end of this week's episode. I want to first thank you for listening to the insanity that crosses our minds. To those who partake and entertain in my conversations, without you, there will be no Hanging Out with Hayzel. To Platinum Way Ray and Mac of the Tracks, we're looking out for my dope beat. And last but not least, shout out to my other half for making this possible. Because at the end of the day, she is I and I am her. If you thought this show was interesting, be sure to tune in to next week's episode and tell a friend. Support the movement. All things Hayzelgreene. Find my books on Amazon.com. Follow, listen, and like at Hayzelgreene.com. Hayzelgreene on Facebook and Hayzelgreene216 on IG. 2 fingers. And I'm out. Hey.